Chapter 492, Breaking into the Treeman Army. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. Blackie had arranged the hiding array earlier at the top of a 3-kilometer high mountain. It rushed toward the precipice and jumped up with all fours. It rose up to the sky, jumped to the peak, and rushed toward the array. Swoosh! Its figure immediately disappeared as if it had been swallowed by the void space. Subsequently, Zhang Yuochen, Auxinian, and the Orange Star Emissary also reached the peak and entered the array. They were temporarily hidden. Bang! The Treeman army charged forward below the peak. They divided into two forces that moved northwestward and southeastward. Gradually, they disappeared at the end of the forest. Auxinian was relieved. Fortunately, they didn't discover us. Otherwise, we would have been in trouble. The millennial Treeman are very sensitive to the heaven and earth spiritual chi, said Zhang Yuochen. The setup of the hiding array will surely cause some subtle changes in the surrounding spiritual chi. If we encounter millennial Treeman with profound cultivation, we will not be able to escape so easily. Blackie stood at the peak and said calmly, "The hiding array I arranged is quite ingenious. Unless it's a 5,000 or more year-old Treeman king, it's absolutely impossible to discover any signs of the array." Auxinian said, "As far as I know, the First Central Empire once launched a crackdown when they discovered the primitive world of wood spirit. They arrested all the Treeman over 7,000 years old. So, my group leader, you don't have to be anxious. Only a handful of creatures in the primitive world of wood spirit can see through Blackie's array." "I hope so." Zhang Yuochen did not say anything more. He took out the auspicious vase, drank some blood of wood spirit, and started healing his wounds. The blood of wood spirit could supplement a warrior's spiritual blood and help them heal. It was more effective than other pills. As he refined the blood of wood spirit, Zhang Yuochen's injury gradually recovered. The blood of wood spirit was a millennial Treeman's blood. It was also its quintessence after 1,000 years cultivation, and contained the strong spiritual chi of wood. As he drank more and more, his blood seemed to change, becoming more and more like the treasured body of wood spirit. Taking blood of wood spirit can really do me good in refining the treasured body of wood spirit. He had already absorbed more than 4 kilograms of purple cloud patterned eaglewood. He was not far from the treasured body of wood spirit. His physical quality was increasingly close to the treasured body of wood spirit after taking so much blood of wood spirit. If he had a treasured body of wood spirit, he would be able to communicate with trees and flowers. Moreover, he could turn into a tree, or even a Treeman using the spiritual chi of wood nature. In Kunlun's field, the blood of wood spirit is an extremely precious spiritual dose. Only powerful saint families' disciples are qualified to take it. Moreover, they only have a small amount, so they can't take large doses. Zhang Yuochen felt that his cultivation was advancing quickly and he was making great progress every day. The auspicious vase contained a lot of blood of wood spirit, so he was not afraid of using it all up. He also intended to collect more and bring it back to Kunlun's field so he could give it to Huang Yanjun, Duan Mook Singerling, Liu Shu Ihan, Sik Singkong, Shang Kiki, and his other friends. Han Zhu and Kong Zhuan would be able to drink a lot of blood of wood spirit. It would be of great benefit to them. If they were provided with the best resources now, they would make amazing achievements. In particular, Han Zhu was fast at cultivating. She cultivated even faster than Zhang Yuochen and Kai Yao had 800 years ago. Zhang Yuochen had killed a Treeman king, a millennial Treeman, and 7 millennial fire vines. In total, he obtained 117,000 military merits. Combined with his previous military merits, he now had 712,000. My ranking on the heaven board should have improved. Zhang Yuochen smiled. Since his injuries had healed, it was time to go on earning military merits and collecting blood of wood spirit. The Treeman tribe had many strong warriors. Until he actualized the treasured body of wood spirit, it would be impossible for Zhang Yuochen to sneak into the depth of the Blackwood field. He could only launch a surprise attack to weaken the overall strength of the Treeman tribe. He also took this opportunity to enhance his cultivation and strived to actualize the treasured body of wood spirit as soon as possible. Once that happened, he would be able to mobilize a great amount of spiritual chi of wood nature and even turn into a Treeman. Then, He could sneak into the depths of the Blackwood field and take the chi of origin from the primitive world of Wood Spirit. Therefore, he was very eager to materialize the treasured body of Wood Spirit. This time, he chose to act alone. He walked out of the hiding array and proudly stood on the cliff at the top of the mountain. He displayed his sky eye and gazed far off into the distance. There was a millennial Treeman 300 kilometers away in the southeast. I should try to avoid the Treeman army and deal with the lone millennial Treeman. He suddenly jumped from the mountain top. Just as he was about to plummet to the ground, he spread his arms and revealed himself as the shadow of the royal wind dragon. He took 9 steps. Every step he took was nearly a kilometer long. He hurried toward the millennial Treeman 500 meters away. A millennial Treeman was certainly incomparable to Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen killed it in just one attack. He collected the blood of Wood Spirit and quickly left in search of other millennial Treeman. He spent the entire day killing Treeman. He killed 19 1,000-year-old millennial Treeman and 3 2,000-year-old millennial Treeman, resulting in a total of 49,000 military merits. He stopped when it turned dark and returned to the hiding array at the peak. He took more blood of Wood Spirit and practiced. The next day, he went to the Blackwood field again and resumed his hunt. Yesterday, I killed 22 millennial Treeman, inflicting heavy loss on the Treeman tribe. Today, they're being more cautious. I can't find a single lone millennial Treeman. I will have to go after the Treeman army. The Treeman army had many top-class warriors. Unless there was no other way, Zhang Yuochen did not want to have a head-on confrontation with them. He released the space domain. The space in front of him warped and he disappeared. It did not make him invisible. Rather, the space warps caused a distortion of sight. Ordinary Treeman could not see him. The Treeman army had stopped for a short break. They stood as a black forest in a vast field. There were tall thick trees as far as the eye could see. However, at the slightest sign of disturbance, they would immediately change to Treeman and launch a furious attack. In the Treeman army, there were 5 Treeman kings. They stood in the center of the forest, like 5 towering trees, with a powerful presence. Under the cover of the space domain, Zhang Yuochen cautiously slipped into the black forest. He walked beneath the Treeman and charged at one. The Treeman king had a keen sense. It had probably sensed his breath before he even took an action. Moreover, all the kings were close together in the center of the forest. If he was discovered, he might be sieged by the 5 kings. Even though he was confident in his own strength, he was not egotistical enough to challenge 5 Treeman kings in one go. He chose to attack a 2,000-year-old millennial Treeman instead of a Treeman king. If he could kill it, he would obtain 10,000 military merits, a substantial payoff. The extraterritorial death is too abhorrent. Yesterday, he killed a dozen of my clansmen. He's an absolutely irreconcilable enemy, said an 800-year-old Treeman. The Treeman said, now, aside from the 2 Treeman armies, all of the Treeman are gathered in the center of the Blackwood field. We shouldn't provide the extraterritorial death with any chance to attack. What if the extraterritorial death comes to fight the Treeman army? What should we do? After a moment of silence, all the Treeman laughed out loud in the forest. There are hundreds of millennial Treeman in the army, plus the 5 Treeman kings. If the extraterritorial death tries to penetrate the holy wood array for god destruction, even if he has a profound cultivation, he's doomed to die. Zhang Yuochen, who walked below, stopped abruptly with a serious expression. Holy wood array for god destruction. He had never expected that the Treeman tribe knew how to embattle. He had to be more cautious. The millennial Treeman sneered. That's right. The holy wood array for god destruction is a god-killing formation. It's been arranged by the 5 Treeman kings and aided by 108 millennial Treeman. Never mind one extraterritorial death. Even if there are 10 extraterritorial deaths, they'll surely be killed. Ha ha. Just then, the space below the millennial Treeman undulated. Zhang Yuochen came out and swung his sword. Damn. The millennial Treeman sensed the danger and was about to dodge. However, Zhang Yuochen attacked so quickly that the trunk had already been hit. Swoosh. He chopped off the trunk. immediately displayed space moving and fled away. He did not even collect its blood of wood spirit. The millennial Treeman cried out and then fell down heavily with a bang. The surrounding Treeman were shocked. Another clansman killed. The extraterritorial death is here. The extraterritorial death has come again. Screams of panic and fear came from the forest. The Treeman were in a mess and fled in all directions. In the depth of the forest, an earth-shattering shout was heard. Extraterritorial death. You have no way to escape this time. The 5 Treeman kings released a powerful force that formed a strong fluctuation in the spiritual chi. 2 kings stayed to comfort the frightened Treeman. The other 3 kings rushed out. They chased after Zhang Yuochen at their fastest speed.